Velkommen alle sammen. A little over a month ago, I made those series of videos on the Viking Island for sale in Torsa, Scotland, and I was trying to get those videos to get enough traction, and I would have maybe considered opening that up for donations. But guys, I'm not going to do it for now for a few important reasons that I will go into for in a minute, because I have run the analytics, run the numbers, and it's just not going to be possible. The main reason, guys, is we would have got nowhere close to what we needed. If every one of my subscribers, there's more than 170,000 of you, if everyone saw the videos and just donated $2 or $3, it would have been ours. That easy. The problem is the YouTube algorithm isn't doing any favors for us. Only 5 to 10% of my subscribers were even notified of those videos speaking about the island for sale and the village we would build on. So guys, if you want to follow me, you guys gotta, you can't rely on YouTube. So for those who are serious and want updates and news about these things, and you want news on all of the incredible projects that we are working on, a YouTube subscription is not even close to reliable. So before I move on, the most important thing, if you take anything from this video, and if you want to be kept in the loop as to not just the Viking Village, but all the other great projects and news that are going to be coming in the next year or two, please follow me or us on a page that is actually going to notify you, and that's 3 options. It's Instagram. They're pretty good about notifying followers through the feed. If you don't have Instagram, you can subscribe by email. You can subscribe either on NorseImports.com or NorseRetreats.com. And guys, I do not spam people. Don't be scared of getting spammed if you sign up for that. I send out maybe 1 email a month. Ask for anybody who has bought something from my shop, guys, comment down below how many emails get sent out from that. It's maybe 1 a month. So you can rest assured that you will not be spammed if you give your email in at any of those sites. And the third option is Patreon if you are interested, because the people there, along with all the other things they get, they are the first ones to be in the loop, and they have been for a while. And I've met so many great people there. We're a really great community. Pretty much everyone there is going to be among the first who are invited to live in the village from there. So it's up to you guys. If you see the value in that, you can, but that is all up to you. But please at least follow me on Instagram, or sign up by email on Norse Retreats or Norse Imports, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on some very crucial news coming in the next 6 months to a year. So now I'm going into the plans for the Viking Village moving forward, donation status, and how you can be a part of it. Anyone can be a part of it. And I'm going to rant about the destruction of our current society and the toxic people who created it all, that will absolutely not be welcome in our community, because that's exactly what we are trying to escape as the world falls apart. And the last 4 or 5 months, I think, has shown that very clearly. For the Scottish island, for those who haven't been following, there was a Scottish island for sale, a full island that the Vikings had settled, and it was for £3 million. And by my estimates, if I would have opened up a GoFundMe, I could have maybe generated 10 or $20,000 or pounds, whatever. It's not even close. It wasn't even worth it to try to open up a GoFundMe for that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go through all the hassle and ask for donations if we weren't going to be getting anywhere close. And I don't want to take money from people unless we are going to get something close to the amount of wealth we would need to have for the village. It's the year 2024. $10,000 you wipe your ass with, and that's about it. You can't buy any piece of land with that that's worth having. You can't really do anything with that. That's like one good night out on the town, really, just with the inflation and the shitty way the world is going. So I'm not going to open up donations for a measly $10,000. And guys, I hope you all know me by now, how much I despise asking for help, asking for handouts, especially financial help. Even friends and family and my money, I can count on like one hand the amount of times I have accepted any help financially from people in my life. And remember, you guys who have been here on the channel for a while, remember, you guys asked me for 3 years, start a Patreon, start a Patreon. We want support, and I said no for 3 years. I don't want to do it. That shows you I'm just not that kind of person. So unless there is a seriously good reason to, I'm not going to open up donations for the village open like that. I'm just not one asking for help. If I receive something from somebody, I want to give something in return. So that being said, guys, on the website now, you can donate. You can leave a little extra donation if you buy something from the site. But honestly, if you guys just get something from there, like for example, the Norse pagan calendar that I just released, it's a $5 digital download. If everybody watching this video, there's probably going to be about 10,000 people watching this video, if each of you bought that digital download, you get something in return, and that would be enough land for the village immediately, like right now in the US. So you can check that out if you want. It really doesn't take that much, just $5, and you guys would help immensely, and you would be getting something great value in return as well. So that's the only thing I have to say about that. The Scottish island, therefore, is just not going to happen. We're just too far away from what we needed. So we will be moving forward with the plan as originally planned. And I will be buying the land in the US. 90% certain it's going to be in the Rocky Mountain states. That will just be the first one. I hope to see many more of these Viking-style villages, compounds, homesteads in the coming years. They don't have to be Viking-themed. I just hope to see communities coming together, living off-grid, because it's very clear that the people in power don't have any good plans for us living in cities and staying with civilization here. They are trying to run it into the ground the best they can. So we can either sit there and watch ourselves self-destruct, or we can create something else so that we can survive and our family and people can survive. So the only way that I myself, for our village, might consider opening up donations is if I really maybe find the absolute perfect land. Everything is great. Zoning is fine, location's fine, everything is great, agriculture's great, the location, everything. If I see that and I'm maybe 10 or 20 grand short and need to move on it fast, and it's maybe if it's a smoking deal and we have to move on it fast, then yes, that's the only case that I might open it up for donations. But yeah, that will be a last resort. I'll be funding the whole thing myself and with others I'm working with. Alternatively, probably at one point in the future, I will open up a 501c3 religious organization and open that up for donations. That will be a Norse pagan, Norse animist religious organization, and I will open that up for people to donate to, just like people would donate to a church. That way, if anybody would consider donating, then it's considered a charitable donation, and that you are annually actually allowed to claim on your annual taxes. You spend tens of thousands of dollars on taxes going to your worthless governments so they can continue sending it abroad and destroying the country. So I would hope that many of you would be willing to deduct some of your taxes paid to donate to a cause worthy of our people and our religion and beliefs. I'll iron that out, those details out a bit later on, though, but those charitable donations would probably go towards building a temple or something like that, and or going towards funding charity work, those types of things. But that could be a ways in the future, though. That could be a couple of years in the future, or maybe sooner, so stay tuned. Finally, one thing that I actually was very impressed with when I spoke to people and saw the interest is the number of you who actually reached out and wanted to give a larger donation. We're talking the Jarl status, 10,000 plus. This was fantastic, and I was surprised there were dozens of you who said you would be interested in that. So for you guys with a larger capital like that, you would be considered investors. We will have contracts set up for those people. The way it would go is that you would finance a cabin to be built once the land is purchased, something like that, and then you would get the bulk share of the holiday rental revenue, and it would pay for itself within a year or two, and then the rest of your life you'd get a source of passive income from that, and of course you'd get free stays for a certain amount of time per year that we would agree on, but also that's not going to come until a bit down the line, so no need to reach out to me about that for now. it's a good little motivation and something to save up for if you might be interested in something like that, because the ROI that will be on that is going to be far better than anything you're going to find in the stock market or real estate or crypto, whatever. We are really going to get a good return on investment for any people who want to help build on the land that we have. So again, that's a bit down the road. If you guys want to get involved now and are eager to donate and be a part of things and stay in the loop closely, Patreon is the best way. Even if you want to join as a paid member, every cent from Patreon that I get goes to the funds for buying the land. And even just for $5 a month, you get access to everything there. You get private, more spiritual type content. You get gifts certain times of year. You get the events that we're meeting up at. We're having in-person events starting pretty soon. You'll get one-on-one calls with me as often as you'd like, so I can know and trust you. And the most important part is the Discord community you get to be a part of, and the Patreon. You can join for $5 and cancel right away just to be part of the Discord, so you can speak and meet with all of us. This is the most important thing. It's not just me you have to get along with, it's everyone else. So it's a peaceful society where everyone who is going to be living there will get along. So that's what we're going into now. How to be a part of the village when it comes. As I mentioned, everyone is going to be welcome to visit for things like vacation, camping, events, workshops, training, concerts, retreats. Some of them are going to cost something, but a lot of them are going to be 100% free. But anyone will be welcome to stay once the land is bought and the structures are built on it for short-term stays, all those types of things. Everyone will be welcome. For those who would be welcome to live there and invited to live there full time, it's going to be very, very childishly simple. Our community will only welcome as many people as we have the infrastructure for, and we will prioritize welcoming the people who bring value to the society and keep the people out who are going to fuck it all up. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? I think a group of 4-year-old kids can agree that that is the best way to run a community and society, but apparently that idea is a little bit too complicated for our filthy, treacherous Western governments. But I don't know, you guys tell me if you have any better ways to run a society. So, it has nothing to do with race or politics. I don't want to hear anyone crying about that. It has to do with simple, basic math. It is going to cost X to build a house for a person or maybe a family to live in. It will cost Y, X times Y, the number of years, to pay for the ongoing costs, taxes, power, water, food, heating, other expenses, the income of the village. If that does not turn out to be at least Z, then we simply cannot afford it. Again, this is something our treacherous Western governments clearly don't understand, because they welcome people no matter what. And honestly, shitty people like that is the whole reason I didn't open up donations in the first place. I know most of you watching here are great, logical, honorable people, but there were a few entitled, communist, Marxist idiots out there who expected a donation of a few dollars to guarantee them a place to live in the village for the rest of their life. The cost of bringing someone into the village to live permanently is going to cost tens of thousands of dollars per year. I don't have the money to pay for that, so each resident is going to have to bring something of value. People have to think of ways that they can bring much more income to at least pay for themselves in the village at the very least, and make sure they have a comfortable place to live. It's very, very simple. It will also mainly have to do with what do you bring. So the right question is not, how can I be a part of the village? The right question is, how can I help? How can we work together? Or even better, come to me or with a set of skills. Hey, these are my skills. This is what I'm great at. These are my assets. This is what I can bring. I have an idea how we can bring this into the village to have it make some money so it can be sustainable. How can we work together? If you come to me or any of us with that, and if you're a good, honorable person we can trust, you are immediately in, and it won't cost you a penny. So that's up to you guys. The sky is the limit. think about it. We have some time before that's ready to get started. I would just encourage people to kind of think outside of the box. We're going to need to think a little bigger than farming and, raising bees for honey and things like that. You got to understand, we've had dozens of homesteaders come to me, dozens of electricians, carpenters, beekeepers, mead makers, just like me. When I apply for jobs and there's two other applicants with the same skills as me, I don't get the job, of course. So we won't be able to build 200 homes for people right away on the land, so we have to prioritize the ones who are going to stand out and the ones who have some great ideas that they can bring to the community and to make it thrive. And that's what I'm talking about in this final part, the plans for the village. I have a few ideas, and there are a few things that we are 100% going to do. There are some more things that others have come to me with, and we will probably be working together. And there's a few ideas of other ways to generate some income that maybe the rest of you can be inspired by, and maybe even work on some things in the meantime, and come to me when the time is right, when the village is bought, or maybe even before. If we have some ideas of the type of land that would fit such an idea and what we're working with. So, a few confirmed plans that we know. We will be building cabins and renting them out for short-term stays, very simple. We'll probably be open to people helping out with the building, setting up power, plumbing, that kind of stuff. So we'll pay people to come out and help with that, or we'll offer like a lifetime passport or something like that. We will also probably have some area that is a campsite where people can come and set up their tents or RVs and stay for a while. We may hire a camp supervisor for that, or maybe even we'll hire a camp security guard in case some bums show up and overstay their welcome. So if you guys work in any of those types of industries that I just mentioned, it would be a good time to reach out. Second idea, there will be retreats, weekend events that people can come to for education, spiritual type stuff, workshops, training, prepper, military style type boot camps, permaculture workshops. The sky is the limit, all kinds of these weekend retreats and things like that people will find value in. I plan on getting some very famous and influential guests to help host those, but it could be anyone. I'll keep that as a surprise for now. I won't mention any of that. But if you don't have a big name, now might be the time to start. Maybe get the motivation to start posting on socials and growing your following. Let's just say, for example, you really like something like drumming, like shamanic drumming, or any interest, whatever. It doesn't matter what. Now is a great time to start growing your following so that by the time we are ready, it would be perfect timing. Pretty quickly, pretty soon after the land is bought, we will also build a hall, a full Viking-size hall. So definitely some construction workers and landscaping workers to make the place look like a sacred grove or temple. We will host events there, weddings, small concerts at the start, but way bigger concerts I plan down the line. Maybe sports festivals once we have the infrastructure for all that. So maybe those types of things. Maybe you're an ordained Norse minister. What do they call them? They're Guðis, but I think they're called something specific for the Norse religion. I'm not sure what they call them, but yeah, if you can legally officiate weddings. Or maybe if you're not an official yet, but there are plenty of places that you can go to get those credentials. So that's maybe a good time to start looking at that if you're interested. Maybe you're a landscaper and you've always wanted to build some sort of recreation of the Uppsala temple, or maybe you have had the dream of building a proper Greek-style theater, or maybe there's a big opportunity to work together on some things like that. Maybe you already own a successful campsite, or maybe you have a record label, for example, even, or maybe you're a DJ and you always wanted to organize a festival. Big opportunity there. So maybe other things, maybe you have a mead business or you run a successful bar and you want to open a meadery or brewery on the property. That's another great opportunity to work together. I could do all those things myself, I just don't have the time. Speaking of that, I've been looking to hire content creators and video editors. I haven't got much to pay at the moment, but very generous commissions on affiliate marketing. There are people making a lot of money doing that. So if you like video editing, especially that short form type of content, or if you just have a little bit of time and dedication and want to learn, there are a lot of AI programs out there now that handle a lot of that. It's a great opportunity to work together now and definitely in the future. Another thing, if you're say like a music producer or you just do it for fun, I started to post guided meditation videos this year. I just haven't had enough time to keep at it. There may be some opportunity to work together there and host some pagan themed raves on the property in the future. Another thing, the seasonal diets. I started that channel, and I just haven't had the time to keep up with it. Maybe I give you full control of the channel even, and you just do like bushcraft cooking videos on the land when we have it. Those get really amazing views. Just thinking about just brainstorming now. Do you own? I would love to own a gym there. Are there any gym owners out here and you want to set up like an elite style training center on the village land when we get it? That's my number one main goal down the line, actually, just to turn the village into like a breeding ground for elite athletes. It may be too late for many of us, but imagine our children raised with all the best food, organic, away from the toxins, in connection with the nature and our ancient spirituality, and all the great things that come from our ancient culture. They will be beasts. They would take over any pro sport they want, but those are, of course, for our children down the line. But I would like pretty immediately to build a gym on the village as well and host like training camps, things like that for fighters or other athletes. Doesn't matter what. The sky's the limit. Those are just a few ideas I have for now, but you get the point. It doesn't have to be any specific thing. It doesn't have to be any of those. It doesn't even have to be related to anything Viking stuff. I just made this video so you guys can get the gears turning in your heads, and maybe you come up with an even better idea. It's not the time for it right now. And number one, the only goal now is to raise the money to buy the land. That's up to me. I'm working on that. But for now, you all, it's the time to start preparing if you are serious. We are probably less than a year away, and that's already 10 years too late. We should have started on these things a long time ago, but better late than never. Mainly, I just hope this inspires people to pick up their goals or side hustles that they have been procrastinating on. And yeah, there is a lot of bright things coming in the future as well. Just have to get the first part, and that is the money for the land and to finding the ideal place and to set it up so that it's going to be financially sustainable, and the rest is pretty easy once it gets rolling. But that's all for today. I won't make any more videos on this, so yeah, follow on Instagram or the email lists, and if you're interested in being a closer part of the community, Patreon is the best place to do that. But that's all for today. Vi ses nästa gång.